It's 2 a.m, your heart is pounding, you're soaked in sweat, and you haven't changed one thing about your life. And lately, there's one sentence running through your head: I just don't feel like myself anymore. You can't sleep, and the weight won't move, and your brain feels full of fog. And every doctor you've seen has run a test, glanced at it, and then just told you you're fine. But you're not fine, and you're not losing your mind. One thing is behind all of it, and most women don't hear it for years, called perimenopause. Here's the part almost nobody tells you. Most of this doesn't start when your period stops. Rather, it starts 10 years before, while your estrogen swings up and down like a broken thermostat. And those swings can throw it higher than it's ever been, not just lower. And so the average woman reaches menopause around 51. But I see the signs happening to women as early as 35, usually even by 40, and they have no idea what's happening to them. So today, I'm gonna walk you through 12 signs your body is already in this change, with the real numbers on how common each one is. Then I'll show you some less common symptoms, and then I'll tell you about a test that gets women sent home saying they're not in perimenopause or they're fine, when in fact the doctor just interpreted the test wrong. I'm Dr. Yasmine Elamir. I'm an endocrinologist and obesity specialist, and I treat patients with perimenopause every single day. And let me tell you, it's the most missed thing I see come through my door. Sign 1, your periods get heavier, not lighter. See, everyone always thinks perimenopause means your periods are gonna fade out over time. But the opposite thing actually happens first. Early on, estrogen isn't just dropping, it's surging up and down and all around, and those surges run higher than it used to. It's actually the most dynamic time in a woman's life, even more than puberty. So when estrogen surges, it builds the lining in your uterus thicker than normal. And that thicker lining means more to shed. So your period actually can come in heavier, even with clots, and sometimes even closer together. 1 month is light, maybe the next month is a flood. And that same high estrogen surge is why a lot of women may be sore or swollen, or maybe even have aching breasts that only used to show up right before their period, but now it's at any time of the month. But the change in your cycle is the most reliable early sign we have. For almost every woman, the rhythm shifts before anything else makes sense. So if your periods stop behaving the way they used to, that's usually the first domino. Sign 2, hot flashes and night sweats. Hot flashes usually start years before the last period, right in the middle of perimenopause. That estrogen we talk about goes straight to your brain's thermostat that runs your body's heat. Your estrogen is basically communicating straight to your brain's thermostat, and that's the one that runs the heat. So when estrogen swings back and forth, that thermostat gets touchy and dumps heat all at once through your skin. At night, your body cools down a little on its own, and even that small dip sets it off. You wake up soaked, then you're freezing as the sweat dries. So this symptom is quite common. 8 out of 10 women get it, and moreover, there's studies that show it lasts up to 7 years in some women. So the point is that you don't have to deal with this if you don't want to. Sign number 3, the belly weight that won't move. This is my world, so let me be clear with you. Estrogen helps decide where your body stores fat. And when it's steady, fat sits on your hips and thighs. And when it drops, fat moves to your belly. So at least half the women gain weight through this change. But here's the part that really gets them. The scale might barely move while your shape changes anyway. And that's because you're gaining fat and losing muscle at the same time. So the number on the scale may stay the same. And deep belly fat is showing up. And this fat is visceral fat, the one around your organs. And it can double or triple. In addition, estrogen helps your body use insulin well, and insulin handles your sugar. So as estrogen drops, your body uses insulin less well, and more of that sugar is parked into your belly fat. Same food, same effort, different body. So when women tell me I'm doing everything I used to and nothing's working, they're telling the truth. The rules have changed though, and nobody showed them how to handle it. Sign number 4, you can't sleep, and night sweats aren't the only reason. See, sleep falls apart here more than just estrogen. There's another hormone at play here, progesterone, and it calms your brain and helps you sleep. So as progesterone drops, that calm fades. Estrogen plays a part here too. So when both get shaky, you'll either lie awake at the start, or you wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and can't drop back off. And this isn't rare, by the way. Roughly 4 to 10, close to half women in the transition report real trouble sleeping, and bad sleep pours gasoline on everything else. Think your mood, your weight, your aching joints, your foggy brain. All of it gets worse when you don't sleep. Sign 5, a stuck shoulder, or frozen shoulder I call it, and aching joints out of nowhere. This one surprises a lot of women, and they may even come to me thinking they have rheumatoid arthritis. But it's actually one of the most common and one of my favorites to explain. See, estrogen calms swelling in your joints and protects them. And when it falls, that protection goes too. So your knees, hips, even your hands and your back get stiff. Usually, it's worse in the morning when you get right out of bed. And it's not a small group of women. In a larger view, thousands of women, around 7 in 10 in the transition, had joint or muscle pain. And most blame age or arthritis. Then there's frozen shoulder, or the correct term is adhesive capsulitis. It means your shoulders slowly get stiff and stuck until you can't reach up to wash your hair. So it'll feel like here, and all of a sudden, I can't go anywhere. It's awful, and they're in a lot of pain. The tissue inside your shoulder has spots that estrogen plugs into. So when estrogen drops, that tissue gets stiff and inflamed, and then women blame the wrong move or a heavy lift, but the hormone shift is what made that shoulder weak first. Actually, the first complaint I get is their husbands, that they sleep funny, so it makes them sleep funny. But no, it's just perimenopause. Sign 6, your heart races and flutters while you're doing nothing. I cannot tell you how many cardiovascular workups we get because obviously we need to check it out. But it's perimenopause. And this one sends women to the emergency room. And I get it. You're resting, not upset about anything, and out of nowhere, your heart is literally pounding or skipping. It's scary as hell. And your first thought is something's wrong with my heart. Here's a simple version. Your heart has its own little pacemaker, a small group of cells that sets the beat. And estrogen helps keep that beat steady. So when estrogen swings and falls, that steadiness gets shaky. So up to 4 in 10 women in the transition feel this. And I'll be honest with you, this one hasn't been studied as much as the others, but it's real and it's common. Now hear me, because this matters more than anything else in this video. If your heart is doing this, see your doctor immediately and get your heart checked. Obviously, your heart has to get checked out regardless. So I mean that. Don't just blame it on perimenopause because of this video. So once you get your heart looked at and everything looks clean, then you can say, maybe it's my low estrogen that no one told you about. Sign number 7, a mood that doesn't feel like you. You know what I'm talking about. You're snapping at everyone, maybe your spouse, your kids, maybe your friend or family member. And really, estrogen helps steady the brain chemicals that hold your mood level. So when estrogen goes up and down on this, roller coaster we're on, you feel anxious in a way you never were. You're snapping over small things or flat for no reason. You cry at commercials, or you're overwhelmed by a normal day that you used to handle without overthinking. This isn't weakness, and this isn't just in your head. In the later stage of the transition, close to 4 out of 10 women report real low mood, and studies show your odds of depression 2 to 3 times higher than before. It touches the people around you too, and then you feel guilty about that on top of that, which can also cause more anxiety. And that's not a flaw in you. That's a hormone your brain has leaned on for 30 years going haywire. Sign number 8, brain fog, lost words, and ADHD that can get worse. See, estrogen helps your brain with blood flow, memory, how fast you think, and when it gets shaky, you feel it. You're mid-sentence and then the word is gone. You walk into a room and you have no idea why. You read the same paragraph 3 times, or you can't find your keys every single day, even though you put it in the same spot. Now, about half of women notice this, and in one study, it was closer to 6 out of 10. So, women coming to me scared that it's early dementia. For almost all of them, it's not, and I want you to hear that clearly. This is what happens when a hormone your brain has counted on forever just isn't working. Now, this is especially worrisome for women who already have ADHD, which is also highly underdiagnosed. This stretch can be rough because estrogen helps with focus, so what was already hard is getting harder now. Sign 9. Migraines that get worse or show up out of nowhere. Yes, migraines. Migraines hit women 3 times as much as men. And really, the hormones are a huge reason. So why in perimenopause? Well, the sharp drops in estrogen are exactly the kind that trigger a migraine. So headaches you used to have under control, maybe only around your cycle, can get more frequent and harder to predict. And some women get their first bad one in their 40s. There's good news though. For many women, the migraines without the visual aura settle down after menopause. So once the hormones stop going up and down so much, your head gets a little bit better. Sign 10, dryness in strange places, even itchy and ringing ears. So estrogen has plug-in spots all over your body, not just where you think. So when it falls, dryness shows up in odd places. With dry, itchy skin, the lotion just doesn't help. Think dry, gritty eyes, a dry nose, and one almost no one connects. Itchy ears and ringing ears. That high-pitched tinnitus or ringing that shows up out of nowhere. And I'll be straight, the ear links, both the itch and the ringing, haven't been studied much, so I hold them loosely. But the wider pattern of the dryness is well understood. And there's a bigger version of this, and women almost never bring it up on their own. Dryness and thinning down below in the vaginal and bladder tissues. See, more than half of women feel it, and after menopause, it's closer to 3 in 4. About half of women have pain with intimacy because of this, and never say a word. It also brings a sudden strong need to pee. Going more often, and repeated bladder infections is one of the most common things we see. And women suffer in silence for years because they're embarrassed. So please don't feel embarrassed and have this treated because it's one of the easiest things to treat in perimenopause. Sign 11, tiredness. Extreme fatigue. This one is its own beast. And not just being sleepy, it's heavy, flat exhaustion that a good night doesn't fix. It's one of the most common complaints I hear in this age group. And it's hard to pin one clear number on it because it overlaps so much with the broken sleep and the mood changes. But the cause underneath it is the same hormone swing, plus the fact that you're not sleeping and your blood sugar is bouncing more than it ever has. And so if we can study those other things, then the energy usually comes back. All right, sign 12, bloating and a gut that turns on you. This one surprises everyone. Sudden bloating, gas with foods you've eaten your whole life, but now all of a sudden don't sit right. And my patients will deny up and down that it's the food sensitivity that's happening because they have eaten these foods their whole life. But the research is thin here, so I'll say it honestly. It hasn't been studied as much as the rest, but estrogen and progesterone both act on your gut. And women report this constantly once you ask around. The same time as everything else on this list, but the timing is not a coincidence. So before I tell you about that test that they gaslit you with, I want to give you a few that are less studied, but I hear all the time and people think sound made up. And the reason I'm bringing these up is because I don't want you to feel crazy if you're having these, because I swear I hear all of these that I'm about to say at least once a week. Someone would feel their skin crawling, like bugs on them or under them with nothing there. It's called formication. When estrogen drops, the nerve endings in your skin get jumpy and fire off signals that aren't real. It's harmless, but it's unnerving, and it's worse than night. One note, low B12 or thyroid issues or anxiety can also do the same thing, so I would also have those checked too. Some women also mention burning or scalding feeling in their mouth or on the tongue or on the lips with nothing to see. It's called burning mouth syndrome, and it shows up in a real share of women in the change. The honest truth is we reach it by ruling other things out, and the hormone link isn't fully settled here, but the timing in midlife is hard to ignore. Some women notice a metallic taste or food they used to eat that tastes just off. And some notice a body odor. That's one of the biggest ones I hear every week. A new body odor that changed even though nothing else did. The same soap, same workout routine, same everything. And these haven't been studied much, so I hold them loosely, but women report them and I wanted you to know about it, because you're not imagining it. So now, let's talk about that test. So let me take you into my exam room for a minute, because this is where so many women get sent home wrong. So my patients finally booked the appointment. They brought their whole list to their doctor. The weight, the broken sleep, the racing heart, they probably have like 10 out of 12 of these symptoms. But they get a blood test and they're told everything is normal. So she walks to her car, cries because she feels crazy, and it starts sinking in that maybe something is wrong with her actual brain rather than a hormone shift. And maybe I'm making this up, but I know my patients are not the only ones. So here's what no one told her in that room. That one normal lab, it rules out nothing. Let me show you why. The test is called FSH. It's a hormone from your brain that tells your ovaries to work. And as our ovaries get older, the FSH tends to rise, meaning it needs more stimulation to boost estrogen. So a high number backs up the diagnosis, but a normal number does not rule it out at all. Because like I said, estrogen is very up and down during the perimenopause transition. It's literally like a roller coaster, very dynamic, very up and down. So basically the FSH may be caught at the normal level when they get the blood test. So then the doctor says everything looks good, but the reality is they're absolutely dead smack in the middle of it. So one normal number, one random day tells you nothing. That's why most endocrinologists, we don't use it for diagnosis because we read it from your symptoms and your story. So if you got waved up because one lab looked fine, you're not crazy. You just didn't get the full picture. Here's the thing I promised you, the part I see almost every week. Only those who are educated in these symptoms come in to me saying they think they're in perimenopause, which is a blessing for both me and the patient because we can drive right into it. But most women walk in with a folder and a note from a heart doctor or ear doctor or brain doctor, and each one looked at one piece and found nothing wrong because they didn't look at them as a whole. And here's why that keeps happening. One survey of doctors finishing their training, fewer than 1 out of 10 felt ready to handle menopause. And not because they're bad doctors, but because no one taught them. So they each check their own one part and find nothing, and the whole picture never gets looked at by anyone. But if you put all of it in one room, one timeline, the answer is sitting right there. So if you've been thinking, I just don't feel like myself anymore, hear this. That's the exact sentence, and honestly the number one symptom I hear. Things women say to me, and there's real research built around it. It's not in your head, it's a real known change. And once we name it, there's a lot we can do for you. And the weight around your middle that won't move no matter what you try, that's the part we can really help you with. And it's not willpower, it's your hormones changing, how your body handles sugar, and there's a real way to work with that. Check out my next video on how to lose weight after 50, just like Oprah, and you'll see exactly how. I'll see you in the next one.